Hey, guess what? Tesla is recalling nearly all vehicles sold in the United States.
What?
To fix an autopilot problem. Well, could the problem be fixed by not calling it autopilot?
Yeah.
How about we call it semi-autopilot?
It might clear up confusion, because you know how like Better Health, that stupid online therapy that you get through Zoom, people like criticize it. Call it Better Than Nothing Help.
Yeah, how about that?
Can't complain about that.
Oh, it's software of fiery death.
Oh, it's semi-automatic? Okay, so I guess I won't trim my bush on my drive to work.
Both hands on the wheel, Jimmy.
It's semi-automatic, so that means I'll just focus on the road and wait till my next shit to read Ryan Grimm's rip-roaring page-turner about the squad.
Save it for his shit, Jimmy. You got to drive.
This is unbelievable. Okay. I guess this is, obviously AI is taking revenge for the SAG strike. I think that's what's happening.
I suspect this is bullshit, this article.
Tesla is recalling more than 2 million vehicles, nearly all of which vehicles it has sold in the U.S. to date, to fix a flawed system designed to make sure drivers are paying attention when they use autopilot. Rather than physically recalling vehicles, documents posted today by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the NHTSA, state that Tesla will send out a software update in an attempt to fix the problem.
So it's not a recall.
So it's really not a recall.
It's like my iPhone isn't recalled when it makes me update it out of the blue, right?
Sorry, I plowed through your storefront. My update was buffering.
Yeah, I bet you this is bullshit. This whole thing.
What do you mean by bullshit?
Like the problem with it, well, it's by the end of this, on the thing you'll see.
So the recall covers nearly all the vehicle Teslas sold in the U.S., including Model X, S, and Y, and 3, and impacts those produced between October 5th, 2012 and December 7th, 2023. It comes after a 2-year investigation by the NHTSA into a series of crashes that supposedly happened while Autopilot system wasn't in use. Since 2016, the NHTSA has opened more than 40 special crash investigations involving Teslas where advanced driver assistance such as Autopilot were suspected of being switched on. 19 crash deaths have been reported in these investigations. 19 deaths so far So what comes next? Are there going to be attorneys who defend the car going, look at the grill on this car. Does this look like the kind of car that would knowingly kill somebody?
Doesn't that sound much better than normal driving statistics by like a lot?
I want you to, it does sound like better, actually.
19 since 2016 deaths and 40 crashes since 2016.
All right.
Go ahead, Russ. You want to say something?
Well, I believe one of my appearances on the show, I told you the comment section was going to go crazy because, you have this Tesla Elon cult.
I don't even care about him. It's just this. He's getting to it. Everybody chatting. Calm down. You'll see. I know why I think it's bullshit.
All right. I'll save it.
Let me finish this article then.
Yep.
So NHTSA states that its investigation has found that Autopilot's method of ensuring drivers are paying attention and in control are inadequate. And in certain circumstances, when auto steer is engaged, the prominence and scope of the feature's controls may not be sufficient to prevent driver's use.
Yeah, what? So driver misuse, not doing the thing they're supposed to do. That's what the flaw is?
So,
wait till you see the next one.
I think this is way too many words. When you see way too many words to explain something, that's legalese for we're responsible for manslaughter. I think that's what that is.
No, they're not responsible for manslaughter. It says...
Hang on. Aside from Tesla's software update, including added controls and alerts to further encourage the driver to adhere to their continuous driving responsibility, the NHTSA safety recall report states that update already issued to some vehicles and with the rollout ongoing will apparently limit where auto steer can be used. Additional controls will include, among others, increasing the prominence of visual alerts on their user interface, simplifying engagement and disengagement of auto steer, additional checks upon engaging auto steer, and while using the feature outside controlled access highways and when approaching traffic controls, and eventual suspension from auto stare use if the driver repeatedly fails to demonstrate continuous and sustained driving responsibility while the feature is engaged. According to Tesla's
kind of defeats the purpose of having an autopilot feature, doesn't it?
defeats the purpose. According to Tesla's own literature, Autopilot is a hands-on driver assistance system that is intended to be used only with a fully attentive driver. It does not turn Tesla into a self-driving car, nor does it make the car autonomous. So despite its name, although Autopilot can steer, accelerate, and brake automatically in lane, it cannot drive for you. Before enabling Autopilot, Tesla users must agree to keep their hands on the steering wheel at all times and to maintain control and responsibility. Wow. Once engaged, Autopilot is designed to deliver an escalating series of visual and audio warnings, reminding drivers to place hands on the wheel if insufficient torque is applied. If a driver repeatedly ignores these warnings, Autopilot is locked out for the duration of that trip.
Look at this.
Like many advanced driver assistance systems, Autopilot requires a driver to keep their hands on the wheel. Though some have worked out these systems can be fooled by hanging a weight over the steering wheel spoke.
Are you joking? So some asshole people that Kyle Dunnigan has a Tesla.
I mean, that's some Darwin Award shit, man. You do that.
So it's not really I mean, besides the name shouldn't be Autopilot. Obviously, it should be semi-autopilot. The problem is they don't have the things in place to prevent you, the owner, from bypassing the security thing to drive like an asshole. People were hanging a weight. Everybody that owns a goddamn Tesla knows you got to keep your hands on that, by the way. You know somebody's got a Tesla, they'll tell you if the Autopilot program, they're all into it. Somebody hung a weight so they could just, jerk off while their car drives? Like, why would you do? So the problem clearly is a driver end problem. And what they're doing is you need to take more control out of the hands of there's not enough to prevent the driver from misusing this is the defect. Like I said.
The defect is even having something like that, because human nature is you're going to be lulled into a false sense of security, even by an autopilot system
that makes you hang weights on it
very well. You're gonna start to not pay attention. Why the car is doing the driving?
Why tease them with Autopilot if you have to keep your? It's like you're giving the driver blue balls. What are you doing? Right. I don't, not to be too on the nose, but pick a lane.
All AI bullshit. I think the name is like the main source of the problem, but all of them. Like, see, as like many advanced driver, all of these tech fucking pricks want to call their thing like a Star Trek thing, and it ain't there yet.
Right.
So AI ain't there yet. All these things that aren't there, they're like, oh, it's gonna be Autopilot like you saw in the movie.
Yeah, Elon is he's the mayor in Jaws. You let the people go swimming. You knew there was a shark.
Yeah, but this is look.
This thing was dangerous.
If you hung weights on your thing to bypass, that's all on the driver, and like that is remarkably
is that
moronic.
What everybody this happened to was doing? I'm saying just human psychology.
I saw the one video of the one guy was driving in the fast lane, and his Tesla just smashed into somebody's car that was parked in the fast lane. Just
like it forced his thing into the car.
Almost, kind of.
Why does it say that on this?
Don't you think it would have stopped it? Why wouldn't it stop it? So call me an old-fashioned analog square, Kurt, but I long for the good old days when all it took was some drunken moron to wreck a car without any computer assistance.
We still have those days. The numbers are much, much higher. Those are like great numbers for this compared to human error.
So all right, so
go ahead.
Here's where the Tesla cult people will freak out. Yeah, Tesla is going to collapse. It was always benefiting from not having serious competition from other automakers. Now that other automakers are getting into that space, the engineering on Tesla is going to very quickly be superseded, and you saw that very clearly when they dropped this much anticipated Cybertruck, and it cost tens of thousands of dollars more than they said it was going to, for far less features than they said it would have. In a year, the narrative around Tesla is going to be very different.
Have you seen that truck? The actual truck?
I have seen it. I don't think it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks like from Damnation Alley. You ever see that, Kurt?
No,
Michael Vincent.
But it looks like what a futuristic car, what they said a futuristic truck would look like 30 years ago.
After the apocalypse.
That's what it looks like to me. Like if you're watching, But
the point is, I've seen them. Like all the people that, by the way, I don't feel anything about Elon Musk. I don't give a shit about him. But people that are into that, like people that hate him, buy Teslas. It's still like for some reason like a rich person thing to buy. And I just know bunches of people that do it that probably are like, I can't believe Twitter has Alex Jones on. They still bought a goddamn truck.
But
people
I think
bought
that's
that
going to
truck.
dry up. I think because you order those way in advance. I think that cultural stigma for the lib customer base for Tesla in this country, at least, it's going to dry up. But you're going to see that in next year's sales figures.
You think
you haven't
so?
seen it yet because I think so.
After AOC was shamed?
Right, yeah. Like, how can these people go buy a Tesla now? The rich people who are still getting Teslas, they ordered it a year or two ago.
I mean,
I don't think they're going to order it.
You're saying it's hard to believe
forward.
they will be hypocrites? I say it's not hard to believe. I could
So
easily see it.
I think once a brand gets the ick on it for those people, they will stay away from it. And I think everything Elon has the ick for them now.
So it's amazing how they made Elon the icky guy because he wanted to give some semblance of free speech on his social media platform.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And that's what this is
Meanwhile,
all about.
Jeff Bezos is fine by them.
Yeah, they love Jeff Bezos, but they hate Elon
They're
Musk.
protesting the Washington Post and won't really mention Jeff Bezos. Well, I think one woman said he had a dick rocket, and they really weren't going at Jeff Bezos too hard.
Who's
The
protesting?
Washington Post, remember that strike at the Washington Post?
Oh, when they had the strike there. Yeah.
What I'm
I saw
curious
somebody spreading a meme comparing Elon Musk to Lex Luthor, and I'm like, Jeff Bezos literally fucking looks like
him.
Luthor.
Yeah.
Jesus
We got about
Christ.
15 Lex Luthors, by the way. The other thing is, I don't know what other brands people are getting. Like, I just haven't seen it. Like I said, I wouldn't go buy a Tesla or an electric car at all, to be honest.
I'm not buying an electric car just because I don't want to have to pull over and charge it for a couple hours every few hundred miles. I would. What kind of a deal is that you have to stop and charge your car for a couple of hours and you have to find a charging?
Is that how long it takes?
You get more than a couple hours, no? It's like miles.
No, I'm saying you could drive a couple. It's like if I'm driving can you drive a Tesla from here to Vegas on one charge?
Oh, I'll ask Kyle.
Right.
Kalinsky.
So, hey Siri, how far can you drive on one charge in a Tesla?
Right, depends on the model.
230 miles to upward of 360 miles on one charge. So the way I would drive, I'm going to guess 230 miles.
How far in a tank of gas, just out of curiosity?
A tank
Full
of gas?
yeah.
I don't know, but you could get a tank of gas like
Anywhere.
that. You can pull over and get a tank of gas
true.
anywhere, and you can fill it up like that. It takes Hey Siri, how long does it take to charge a Tesla? It could take up to between 6 and 12 hours.
Everybody's got that kind of time.
Wow. People
wow.
that buy Teslas buy the towers for their.
How much do those cost?
What I'm saying, if you're
It's a rich people thing. Like
so
rich
if
people
you're so if I'm driving somewhere and it's like it's over 230 miles, that's going to be tough because then I got to have to stop and recharge my car for 6 hours at least.
I always think of it like science fiction. If I'm running away from the law, now they know I have like a 230-mile radius as far as I can go.
Well, look, as far as dumb rich people shit, I remember diamonds had a significant liberal ick factor and they didn't go away. Like, I don't believe people are going to go,
really.
that's too gross for me. I just don't see that from anybody, even a liberal. Like, if they want to get the thing, they'll get it. They care about that stuff more than any feelings about anything. They care about getting that kind of stuff.
Diamonds are culturally ingrained in a way that Tesla isn't.
And really, in the state of California, they want to have us all go electric. Right now, if there is a heat wave, they tell us to shut off our air conditioners.
We can't even have air conditioning if it's really hot.
Buy a Tesla and sit in your Tesla and have air conditioning.
But somehow everybody is. They say to charge an electric car. I've heard this stat. It's the equivalent of having 10 refrigerators at your house. So they like I said,
luxurious.
like Steph says, they can't even handle a heat wave with air conditioning, let alone now everybody's going to have 10 to 12 refrigerators at their house, the equivalent of.
Only some rich people will, and the rest of you will have no
cars,
refrigerators at your house.
No AC.
Yeah,
you will own nothing and be happy.
Yeah, like that's the whole goal of the electric car by whatever year thing is. Yeah, you won't be able to drive. Just some people can that can afford the very expensive resources to drive.
Well, you know what's closer than 230 miles is Oxnard, California from Los Angeles. You can drive there and see a stand-up comedy show with Kurt Metzger, Kurt Mexican, Steph Zamarera, and myself, Jimmy Dore.
Why not say semi-autopilot? So much.
Just say semi-autopilot. I know.
Why
up the
say
whole
thing? Because they're tech jerk-offs, all these tech people. And they got a Elon Musk is big douchebag. And he's like, oh, it'll be ready in 2 minutes. Oh, wait, I actually need 2 years for that. Like, he promises a thing that's coming, and it's going to be way longer than he said. You know, like going to Mars kind of stuff.
I still need somebody to explain to me that documentary, Who Killed the Electric Car?
Remember that?
Yeah.
Never seen
I
that
mean,
documentary?
so they killed it. They people wanted to keep their car. They go, no, it's a leased vehicle.
So was that not true?
And they took it and they smashed them. And they remember that
they wouldn't. So they would only let you lease the electric car, and then they recalled them and smashed them. And people were like, no, I'll buy it from you. I like it. And they were like, nope, sorry, and they smashed it. And that was that.
No one hid their
And then the
electric
electric car was over until Elon Musk came along and revived it. I don't know how and now they want to make everybody get an electric car, but there aren't enough electric cars and there aren't enough charging stations and there isn't enough freaking power in the power grid to charge if everybody got electric. It's all bullshit. This Agenda 2030, was that part of Agenda 2030?
I thought it was 2035.
No, it's
okay, never mind.
Did you see Planet of the Humans?
Yes, I did.
Michael Moore produced?
Yes.
It was basically what they said, that this is all greenwashing, that everybody who knows anything knows that this technology cannot replace the level of energy that we consume. That in the end, they are going to have to scale back on energy consumption. They're just not telling people that.
Well, Barack Obama went to Africa and told them that.
Barack Obama went to Africa and told them they can't have air conditioning. And then he went back and bought a 60-acre mansion that is like 1 foot above sea level.
Come on, the guy lost his chef in a terrible naked paddleboarding accident.
And I've got to tell you, after the Iraq War, after Libya, after Barack Obama screwed everybody over with the banking crisis, after Russiagate, after COVID, after the Syrian war, Ukraine war, Afghanistan for 20 years, I'm starting to question what they're telling me about climate change.
What? Jimmy, I reset with every presidency. I have my feelings when I feel them, and then we move on to a new guy. I never make any connections between past and future.
I know this for sure. The fact that they want to kill all the cows in the Netherlands, and they only let you use electric lawnmowers and leaf blowers in California, or you can only buy them now. That is not what's causing climate change. That is not the problem.
You're probably farting too much too.
Yeah. I mean, so the fixes they have seem to not hurt the people flying in private jets.
Right.
The fixes they have seem to be to screw over the working class, which it seems like designed to do that. And you can't have a stove, you can't have a regular car, you can't have a leaf blower, you can't have a lawnmower, you can't have meat.
Yeah, remember?
Like, what the fuck?
Remember when climate change, the thing that I definitely believed in when it came out?
I'm totally getting skeptical of it now.
They go
that it might be happening, but why did they change it from global warming to climate change in the first place?
Because it might be too cold. But my thing is, when at first the science was saying this, all the executives of these massive companies were going, no, Chicken Little. They literally have drawings of Chicken Little and say, this guy's, what are you, an idiot to believe that nonsense? That was every corporation's line. Next thing I know, all these big companies, no, it's real. And they're pointing at you at home like you did it, not the guy pumping the oil out of the ground.
By the way, I want to remind people that when you have a recycling bin at your home, that does not get recycled.
It puts more greenhouse gases in the air.
No, it doesn't. Especially the plastic.
That's been a scam the whole time, and it puts more greenhouse gases in the air to do that nonsense. It's just people make money off it. Like everything else, nothing is for you. It's for some jerk off.
So how you could not be skeptical of what the establishment is telling you about climate change and how to fight it is, again, that those are the same people who weren't skeptical about COVID. And
well, I work at the Atlantic. That's why I'm not.
So I'm not going along with any of it. If they tell me to do something to fight climate change, I'm doing the exact opposite.
If it's an emergency, end all the military bullshit that's causing most of it.
You never see Greta Thunberg out there protesting the construction of a new military base by NATO. The number one carbon emitter by any organization in the world is the U.S. military. And they're still building. They just built 2 new military bases inside Syria, a country we're illegally occupying. They built 3 in the Philippines. They're not stopping. So the people who are telling me that I got to get rid of my stove, drive an electric car, and recycle are the people who are doing the most to accelerate climate change, if it's happening the way they say it's happening. And by the way,
it hasn't so far.
We did a story that NASA put out a thing that all the extra carbon dioxide in the air has actually made the Earth way more green.
Bill Gates says trees are not the solution. It's you eating a lab-grown tumor.
That's right.
Made from, I swear to God, a cattle abortion. They take a cow fetus, fetal bovine serum they need to get, and they slowly drain its blood. So it's not even as merciful as a late-term abortion. They keep it alive and drain its blood, and then they have to put it in these big vats. And you know how a cow is a great machine for making meat because its body gets rid of waste. Like the factory that is body that makes the meat, they put in a thing and they have to constantly take the cell slurry and make sure there's not ammonia, like piss in it.
Right.
Because the cells excrete ammonia, all to get a product that's really like, it sounds like a tumor to me, uncontrolled cell growth. They have to inhibit the cell from not growing. Uncontrollable.
Right. So that's lab meat? Is that how they make lab meat? That's what you're talking about?
Bill's a big Impossible Burger guy, which is not lab meat.
And now they want to. Now Bill, I just saw. I was going to cover it today. Bill Gates just gave a speech at some WEF thing or something. Oh no, it's that COP 298 or whatever. They're gonna. He wants to spray everything with mRNA.
Yeah, just spray it
all the farmland and all the. Yeah, it's all mRNA stuff now.
Why?
So it's supposed to help improve production, so we could feed more people. It's going to jam mRNA into your plants now.
Oh
wow!
Wait till you see it. I saw it. I'll probably cover it
with my Roundup intake.
Jimmy, people wanted to make sure that you knew that at the supercharger stations that it could take about an hour to charge your Tesla.
That's still way longer than filling my tank.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy one of them. I'm just saying, I don't believe any of these liberals that are going to be it's too icky to do this and that. They've never held to it before. They certainly are going to hold on to it in the future. And that ugly ass truck, I'll bet you that's very popular. That's going to be very popular. You had to order it and wait for it?
Oh my God. That truck is ugly.
Ferrari, the most useless car?
I don't think so. I don't think so. They just got a bad safety report, but that's not why it wound up. They said it was going to be 30,000, I think, and it was going to have all-wheel drive. Wound up being like 50,000 for rear-wheel drive. So
that's why you should be mad about that. And also, you got to pay to unlock the computer in your car to go the top speed. It doesn't come in the factory setting.
Are you kidding?
It's like the kind of bullshit they do to scam like kids with video game micro purchases. They're going to do with cars. The Mercedes electric car, it was crazy what their thing was. You were going to pay a monthly fee to be able to go the top speed.
No kidding.
Worse than the Tesla one where they said it, you have to pay extra for them to unlock it. Mercedes, the other companies have even bigger plans that are worse, but that's the thing they should all be in trouble for. This is like...
And there's nowhere you can move. There's nowhere to get away from it. It's global. It's just global. This nightmare, this dystopian future is here. It's now. The brave new world. We're living in it, baby.
Even in the metaverse, it will not be much better. You won't be able to afford a Tesla in the metaverse.
In the metaverse. Okay, everybody should check out Russ Dobular's show. It's called Due Dissidence, and he does it with Keaton.
Keaton, it's his birthday tomorrow. That's why he couldn't do this tonight. His wife's taking him out.
Oh, no kidding. How old is he turning tomorrow? 21? Is he going to be able to drink?
21 again. No, 37.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, those were the days. That's I was wow. That's right around the age when I met you, Steph.
I remember, Jimmy. I remember.
Those were the days. I was young. I had big dreams. I had plans.
Red hair.
I was 5'10". Those are the days. Okay, Russ. Russ will be filling in January 8th through the 15th at least. I might take a couple more days off after that. So he might be in here for maybe 2 weeks. Possibly.
Really?
Yeah, possibly.
Whoa.
I'm thinking
2 weeks to do my Woody Allen and L.A. routine. I cannot live in a place where the only cultural advantage is you can make a left turn on a red light.
I'm still laughing at that. What was the joke you made the other day about the extent of my Judaism is I complain about being seated too close to the kitchen.
Yeah.
I told you
that is how I keep the flame lit.
Russell, this is my joke because I dated a girl that was Israeli for 10 years and I'm not Jewish. And here's how I would describe my experience. It was like dating Greta Thunberg if she was just really upset about the climate of the room she's in currently. A lot of how dare yous.
Close the window. God damn it.
Okay, Russ, thanks for sitting in today. It's been a pleasure. And we'll see.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you out here soon. Okay, Kurt, you have any dates coming up? Anything?
I'm at the Comedy Store tonight.
Don't care about it. You don't get paid if people buy a ticket. You're going to get paid the same amount of money.
I do if it's the main room. It's not.
Oh, really?
It's the regular room. But
okay.
In the main room, I would.
Oh,
Thank
really?
You, Joe Rogan. Yeah, Rogan's the one who did that. Made it like that.
I'll be at the Comedy Magic Club on Saturday, 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. in Hermosa Beach. And then I'm going to swing all the way back to Burbank for the 9:30 show. At least that's my plan.
I look forward to this plan.
I see. I'm like, you know what? Let's see.
Boy.
I've never done 3 sets ever in Los Angeles. People do that in New York a lot, right? They do multiple sets. I've never done 3 sets. I'm like, maybe let's see if I could do it. I do the 6 p.m., 8 p.m., and then I'll get in the car, drive to Burbank, do the 9:30. I'm going to probably crap out before I get to Burbank, but I'm going to try. We're doing live comedy shows in Oxnard, California, Venice, California, Palmdale, California, Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Milwaukee, Lansing, Michigan, Bend, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, and Boston. Plus, we're going to put a date in Edmonton, Canada, plus Vancouver. See ya. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.